I need you to kill my ex-boyfriend." The words left Nina's mouth before her brain could stop them. The man across the table didn't blink. Choi Woo-jin, if that was even his real name, sat perfectly still in the corner booth of the dingy bar, a glass of whiskey untouched in front of him. "Say that again," he said quietly. Nina's hands shook as she slid the envelope across the sticky table. "Jordan Matthews. I have his address, his schedule, everything you need. I want him dead." This was insane. 48 hours ago, Nina had been planning her wedding. Then she'd come home early from her bachelorette party planning and found Jordan in their bed with her cousin. Her cousin. The rage had been white-hot, blinding. Her best friend Kira had meant it as a joke. "Girl, you need to hire a hitman." But Kira's brother knew someone who knew someone who knew someone who handled problems. And now Nina sat across from a man who looked like he could kill someone without breaking a sweat. Woo-jin opened the envelope. Photos of Jordan spilled out. His car, his office, his favorite restaurant. Nina had been thorough. "How much?" Woo-jin asked, voice empty of emotion. "I have $20,000. It's everything I saved for the wedding." $50,000. Nina's stomach dropped. "I don't have $50,000. "Then we have a problem." Woo-jin stood, buttoning his black jacket. "Wait." Nina grabbed his wrist. He looked down at her hand on his arm, then at her face. His eyes were cold, empty, the eyes of someone who'd seen death too many times to care. "Please," Nina whispered. "He destroyed my life, humiliated me. I can get you the rest of the money. I just need time. I don't do payment plans." Woo-jin pulled his arm free. "And I don't do refunds. You hire me, the job gets done. No changes, no second thoughts, no backing out." "I won't back out. Everyone says that." He turned to leave. $50,000, Nina said desperately. "I'll get it. Just, please, make him suffer." Woo-jin stopped. Slowly, he turned back. "Make him suffer?" he repeated. "Yes." Something flickered in his expression. Interest, maybe. Or amusement. "That costs extra." "How much extra?" Nina asked, her voice steadier than she felt. $75,000, total. Woo-jin sat back down. "But if you want suffering, I need details. What did he do?" Nina's throat tightened. "Does it matter?" "It matters if you want me to make it personal." His eyes locked onto hers. "So, tell me, what did Jordan Matthews do to deserve death?" The bar was nearly empty, just a bartender who looked like he'd seen too much to care, and a couple in the corner, too drunk to notice anything. Nina took a breath. "We were together for 5 years, engaged for 6 months. I planned everything, the venue, the flowers, the dress. I worked 2 jobs to save for our wedding because he said his business was struggling. And 2 nights ago, I came home early, found him in our bed with my cousin Rachel, the same cousin who was supposed to be my maid of honor." Nina's voice cracked. "They laughed when I walked in, actually laughed. Jordan said I was boring, that Rachel knew how to have fun." Woo-jin's expression didn't change, but something shifted in his posture. "Where's the ring?" he asked. Nina looked down at her bare finger. "I threw it at him, hit him in the face, broke his nose." "Good." Woo-jin pulled out a phone burner. "By the look of it, I need 3 days to plan. In that time, you get me the money, all of it, cash. I can get you 40,000 by Friday. 75,000. Or I walk." Nina's mind raced. She could drain her savings, sell her car, borrow from her parents. No, her parents couldn't know about this. "I'll figure it out," she said. Woo-jin studied her for a long moment. "You're serious about this?" "Deadly serious." "Most people who sit across from me aren't." He finished his whiskey in one smooth motion. "They're angry, hurt, desperate. But when reality sets in, they back out. Call the police, have a crisis of conscience." "I won't." "We'll see." Woo-jin stood again. "Friday, midnight. Same place. Bring the money. If you're not here, I assume you've changed your mind. He walked toward the door. Wait, Nina called. How do I know you're not a cop, or that you'll actually do it? Woo-jin pulled something from his pocket, a newspaper clipping. He dropped it on the table. The headline read, "Business mogul found dead in apparent suicide." Nina recognized the face, a CEO who'd been all over the news last month. That wasn't suicide, Woo-jin said quietly. And no, I'm not a cop. He left. Nina sat alone, staring at the clipping, wondering what she'd just done. Friday came too fast. Nina had $42,000 in cash. She'd sold her car, emptied her savings, pawned her grandmother's jewelry, and borrowed $10,000 from her best friend Kira with a lie about emergency medical bills. She was still $33,000 short. At 11:45 p.m., she sat in the same bar, the duffel bag of cash heavy on her lap. Woo-jin appeared at exactly midnight. He didn't greet her, just sat down and gestured to the bag. Nina slid it across the table. He unzipped it, counting quickly and efficiently. "This is $42,000, he said. "I know, I couldn't get the rest." "Then we're done here." He zipped the bag, standing. "Wait," Nina's voice cracked with desperation. "Please, I'll get you the rest. I just need more time." "I don't do partial payments." "Then take this as a down payment. Kill him now. I'll pay you the rest after." "That's not how this works." Woo-jin's voice was ice. "You don't understand what you're asking me to do. This isn't some movie where the hitman takes pity on the crying woman. This is business. You don't have the money. You don't get the service." Nina stood, tears streaming down her face. "He destroyed my life. He gets to walk away happy while I'm left with nothing. Then destroy him another way, ruin his reputation, expose his cheating, sue him." Woo-jin's expression was carved from stone. "But murder? That's permanent. That's a line you don't come back from." "I don't care." "Yes, you do." He pushed the duffel bag back to her. "Go home, Nina. Sleep on it. If you still want him dead in a week, call this number." He slid a card across the table. Then he walked out. Nina collapsed back into the booth, bag of cash at her feet, card in her trembling hand. The bartender came over. "You okay, miss?" "No," Nina whispered. "I'm really not." She looked at the card. Just a phone number. No name. She should throw it away. Forget this ever happened. Move on with her life. Instead, she tucked it into her wallet. Just in case. 1 week became 2. Nina tried to move on. She quit her second job, found a new apartment, blocked Jordan on everything. But everywhere she went, she saw reminders. The coffee shop where he'd proposed, the restaurant where they'd celebrated anniversaries, the park where they'd talked about their future. And then there was Rachel. Her cousin had the audacity to call, leaving voicemails that were equal parts apology and justification. "We didn't mean for it to happen. You have to understand. We have a connection. Jordan and I are actually together now. We'd like your blessing." Nina deleted them all. But the rage festered. 2 weeks and 3 days after meeting Woo-jin, Nina pulled out the card. Her finger hovered over the call button. This was crazy. Murder was crazy. She pressed call. It rang once. "I was wondering when you'd call." Woo-jin's voice was calm, unsurprised. "I still don't have all the money," Nina said. "I know." "Then why did you give me the card?" Silence. "Then, because I wanted to see if you'd actually call. Most people don't." "I'm not most people." "No, you're not." A pause. "Meet me tomorrow. Same place. Noon. We'll discuss terms." "I told you, I don't have." "I'm not talking about money." His voice dropped lower. "I'm talking about alternative payment." Nina's stomach clenched. "I already told you. I'm not sleeping with you." "Jesus, no." He sounded almost offended. "I need something else. A favor. You help me. I handle Jordan. No money required." What kind of favor? Tomorrow, noon. We'll talk. He hung up. Nina stared at her phone, heart racing. This was insane. But she showed up the next day anyway. Woo-jin sat in the same booth, but this time in daylight, he looked different. Less terrifying, almost. Black shirt, dark jeans, hair pushed back from a face that was unfairly handsome. Sit, he said. Nina sat. Here's the situation, Woo-jin began. I have a job in 2 weeks. High-profile target. Security everywhere. I need someone on the inside. Someone who looks innocent, harmless. Someone no one would suspect. You want me to help you kill someone else? Nina's voice pitched high. I want you to attend an event, smile, make small talk, plant a device, then leave. His eyes bore into hers. Do that, and Jordan becomes my problem, free of charge. What kind of device? The less you know, the better. Absolutely not, Nina said, standing. I'm not helping you murder someone else. Then pay me $75,000. Woo-jin didn't move. Those are your options. Nina sat back down, mind racing. Who's the target? She asked, quietly. Does it matter? Yes. If you're asking me to help kill an innocent person, no one I kill is innocent. Woo-jin's voice was flat. The target is a human trafficker, moves women and children across borders, sells them to the highest bidder. He's been doing it for 15 years, and the law can't touch him because he's protected by people in very high places. Nina's stomach churned. And you're just taking justice into your own hands? Someone has to. He leaned forward. I don't kill good people, Nina. I kill monsters who hide behind money and power. Jordan? He's an asshole and a cheater, but he's not a monster. Normally, I wouldn't take that job, but you seemed desperate, and I was curious. Curious about what? About what kind of person gets desperate enough to hire someone like me. His eyes searched her face. Turns out, you're exactly who I need for this other job. Educated, professional, black woman in her 30s. You fit the profile perfectly. Profile for what? The target's charity gala. He only invites certain demographics. Makes himself look progressive while he runs his trafficking ring underground. Woo-jin pulled out a tablet showing her photos. You attend as my date. We mingle. You go to the bathroom, plant a device in the server room. We leave. 3 days later, he's dead, and it looks like natural causes. Nina stared at the photos. The target was an older white man, smiling at a podium, accepting some humanitarian award. How do you know he's a trafficker? She whispered. Because I was hired by the families of 3 girls he sold. Woo-jin's voice went cold. They pooled their money. Asked me to make sure he never hurts anyone again. Silence. 1 event, Nina said slowly. Plant 1 device. That's it? That's it. And you'll kill Jordan? Make it look like an accident? I don't do accidents. Too messy. I'll make it look like suicide. Guilty conscience. Everyone will assume he couldn't live with himself after what he did to you. The poetic justice of that almost made Nina smile. When's the gala? She asked. 2 weeks. Saturday night. Black tie. I'll need a dress. Already handled. Woo-jin slid a black card across the table. Buy whatever you need. Hair, makeup, dress, shoes, everything. Nina picked up the card, feeling the weight of the decision. If I do this, she said quietly, I'm a murderer too, just like you. No, you're a woman helping remove a monster from the world. There's a difference. Is there? Woo-jin's smile was sad. Keep telling yourself that. It's what I do. The black card had no limit. Nina discovered this when she walked into a designer boutique and bought a dress that cost more than her monthly rent. Midnight blue silk, elegant, sophisticated, the kind of dress that made her look like she belonged in rooms with wealthy monsters. She hated how good she looked in it. Woo-jin had given her an address, a penthouse downtown, where she was supposed to meet him for preparation. The elevator required a keycard. The doors opened directly into his apartment. Nina stepped out into luxury she'd only seen in magazines. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, art that was probably worth more than her life. "You're late," Woo-jin said, appearing from a hallway. He wore slacks and a white shirt, sleeves rolled up, looking less like a killer and more like a CEO. "Traffic," Nina lied. "We need to go over the plan." He gestured to a dining table, covered in blueprints and photos. "The gala is at the Continental Hotel. 500 guests. Heavy security. You'll enter with me as my date. Will be announced as Mr. and Mrs. Choi." "Mrs.?" Nina's eyebrows rose. "Cover story. We're newlyweds, just back from our honeymoon in Bali. That explains why no one's seen us before." He handed her a wedding ring diamond, elegant, clearly expensive. Nina slipped it on. It fit perfectly. "How did you know my size?" she asked. "I'm very good at what I do." Woo-jin pointed to the blueprints. "The server room is here, 3rd floor, east wing. Security cameras are on a loop from 9 to 9:15 p.m. That's your window. What if I get caught?" "You won't. But if you do, you don't know me. We met at a bar. I invited you as a date. You have no idea what I do for a living." His eyes locked onto hers. "Understand? You'd let me take the fall? I'd get you the best lawyers money can buy. But yes, I don't go to prison. Ever." The cold calculation in his voice reminded Nina exactly who she was dealing with. "Show me the device," she said. Woo-jin opened a case. Inside was something small, looked like a USB drive. "This goes into any port in the server room. It uploads a virus that will crash their security systems 3 days from now. That's when I'll make my move." "And Jordan?" "Will be handled the night after the gala. Car accident. Brake failure. Quick. Painless." Woo-jin's expression softened slightly. "Unless you want him to suffer more?" Nina thought about it. About Jordan's laughter when she'd caught him. Rachel's smirk. The humiliation. "No," she said quietly. "Just make it over. Fast." "All right." They spent the next 3 hours rehearsing. Woo-jin taught her how to walk beside him, confidently, like she belonged. How to make small talk vague but charming. How to slip away unnoticed bathroom excuse. Smile. Move fast. By midnight, Nina was exhausted. "You'll be fine," Woo-jin said, walking her to the elevator. "Just remember, you're Mrs. Choi. Happy newlywed. In love with your husband." "And how am I supposed to fake that?" Nina asked. Woo-jin's smile was slight. "You'd be surprised how easy it is to pretend." The elevator doors closed. Nina rode down, wedding ring heavy on her finger, wondering when her life had become a crime thriller. The Continental Hotel glittered like a palace. Nina stepped out of the town car on Woo-jin's arm, feeling like an imposter in her expensive dress. But no one looked at her with suspicion. They saw exactly what Woo-jin had created, a beautiful woman on the arm of a handsome, wealthy man. "Relax," Woo-jin murmured as they walked up the red carpet. "You're doing great. I feel like I'm going to throw up." "Don't. It would ruin the dress." Inside, the ballroom was filled with wealth and power. Politicians, CEOs, people who shaped the world from behind closed doors. And somewhere among them, a human trafficker. "There," Woo-jin said quietly, nodding toward an older man, surrounded by admirers. Richard Morrison, the target. He looked so normal, grandfatherly, even. Nina's stomach turned. "Remember," Woo-jin whispered, 9 p.m., server room, you have 15 minutes. They mingled. Woo-jin was surprisingly charming, making jokes, telling stories about their honeymoon, his hand never leaving Nina's waist. It felt comfortable, too comfortable. At 8:55 p.m., Nina excused herself to the bathroom. She walked calmly through the hallway, heart hammering. The server room was exactly where Woo-jin said it would be. The door was locked, but he'd given her a key card. It clicked open. Inside was exactly what she expected. Rows of servers, blinking lights, the hum of technology. Nina pulled out the device, hands shaking. Just plug it in, upload the virus, leave. She found a port, inserted the drive. A progress bar appeared. Uploading, 10%, 20%. Footsteps in the hallway. Nina froze. The footsteps stopped outside the door. The handle turned. Nina's heart stopped. The door opened. A security guard stood there, surprise crossing his face. "Ma'am, this area is restricted." "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Nina's voice pitched high, ditzy. "I was looking for the bathroom and I got so lost. This hotel is like a maze." The guard's expression softened. "Bathrooms are down the hall, to the left." "Thank you so much. I'm such a disaster tonight." Nina giggled, stepping past him. Well, behind her, the upload hit 100%. She didn't look back. Nina made it back to the ballroom with 2 minutes to spare. Woo-jin was exactly where she'd left him, champagne in hand, smile perfect. "There you are," he said smoothly. "I was beginning to worry." "Just freshening up," Nina said, slipping back into character. His eyes searched hers, a silent question. She gave the tiniest nod. Relief flickered across his face. They stayed another hour, dancing, laughing, playing the perfect couple. When they finally left, Nina felt like she could breathe again. In the car, Woo-jin's entire demeanor changed. The charm dropped. The smile faded. "You did well," he said. "I almost got caught." "But you didn't. That's what matters." He pulled out his phone, checking something. The virus uploaded successfully. 3 days from now, Richard Morrison won't wake up. Heart attack. No one will suspect anything. Nina stared out the window. "And Jordan?" "Tomorrow night, as promised." Woo-jin glanced at her. "Are you having second thoughts?" Was she? 48 hours ago, she would have said no. But now, after seeing how easy it was to help end a life, doubt crept in. "I don't know," she admitted. "You have until midnight to decide. After that, the job is done. No refunds, no takebacks." The car pulled up to Nina's apartment. She started to get out, then stopped. "Why do you do this?" she asked. "Kill people for money?" Woo-jin was quiet for a long moment. "Because someone has to remove the monsters, and I'm very good at it." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one you're getting." His eyes met hers. "Midnight, Nina. Decide." End quote. She got out. Inside her apartment, Nina paced for hours. Jordan deserved to suffer. He'd humiliated her, destroyed her future, laughed while doing it. But did he deserve to die? At 11:55 p.m., Nina picked up her phone. Woo-jin answered on the first ring. "Well?" he said. Nina took a breath. "Don't do it." Silence. "Say that again?" Woo-jin said carefully. "Don't kill Jordan." I can't. I don't want his blood on my hands." Tears streamed down her face. "I'm angry. I'm hurt. But I'm not a murderer." More silence. Then, "All right." "All right," Nina repeated. "That's it?" "That's it. Job's canceled. You fulfilled your end of the bargain with the gala. We're even." Relief crashed over Nina. "Thank you." "Don't thank me. Just be smarter about who you trust." He paused. "Good night, Nina." The line went dead. Nina collapsed on her couch, crying relief, guilt, exhaustion, all mixed together. 3 days later, the news reported Richard Morrison's sudden death. Heart attack. Natural causes. No foul play suspected. Nina turned off the TV, feeling sick. 1 week after that, someone knocked on her door. Nina opened it. Woo-jin stood there, holding takeout. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Checking on you, making sure you're okay." He held up the food. "And I brought dinner." Against her better judgment, Nina let him in. "Why do you care if I'm okay?" Nina asked as they ate. Woo-jin set down his chopsticks. "Because you're the first person who hired me and then called it off." Most people go through with it, then spend the rest of their lives regretting it. You chose differently. I chose not to be a murderer. You chose to be better than your anger. He met her eyes. That's rare. They ate in silence for a while. What happened to Jordan? Nina finally asked. He's alive. Moved in with your cousin. They're engaged, apparently. Nina waited for the rage to come. Instead, she felt nothing. Maybe relief. Good for them, she said, surprising herself. Woo-jin smiled, genuine, warm. You mean that? I think I do. He would have made me miserable. Rachel, too. They deserve each other. And you deserve better. The words hung between them. Nina studied the man across from her, a killer who'd given her a choice when he didn't have to. Can I ask you something? She said. Maybe. That first night, when I tried to hire you, you knew I couldn't afford it. You could have just walked away. Why didn't you? Woo-jin was quiet. Then, because I saw someone in pain, and I've been there. I know what it's like to want revenge so badly, you destroy yourself to get it. What happened to you? That's a story for another night. He stood, collecting the empty containers. I should go. Woo-jin, Nina called as he reached the door. Thank you for giving me the choice. Thank you for making the right one. He left. Nina sat alone in her apartment, feeling like a chapter of her life had closed. But when her phone buzzed an hour later, she smiled at the message. Unknown number. Dinner next week? No murder. No deals. Just dinner. WJ. Nina typed back. Only if you promise to tell me that story. Deal. She put down her phone, laughing despite everything. 6 months later, Nina sat across from Woo-jin at a small restaurant, listening to him tell impossible stories about his impossible life. He'd quit the killing business, started something legitimate, still dangerous, still morally gray, but not murder. Nina had started over too, new job, new apartment, new life. And somehow, the hitman she'd hired to kill her ex had become the person she trusted most. This is insane, she said one night as they walked through the city. What is? Us. This. I tried to hire you to commit murder. Now we're, what are we? Woo-jin stopped walking, turning to face her. We're two people who made bad choices and somehow found something good in the wreckage. His hand found hers. Is that insane? Completely. Good, he smiled. I don't do refunds, remember? Nina laughed, pulling him close. Good thing I'm not asking for one. And as they walked through the city, hand in hand, Nina realized that sometimes the worst decisions lead to the best endings. Not because murder is right, but because choosing not to murder, choosing to be better, opens doors you never knew existed. Revenge feels sweet when you're drowning in anger, but calling it off feels like freedom. The moral lesson of this story is, sometimes the person hired to end a life ends up saving yours instead. Remember, you can't heal by making someone else bleed.